For anyone who's watching the VOD, welcome to our breakdown of the Apple announcement. I think it's really important to see the changes that Apple is bringing forward and some things that are not included, which surprised me. But I've been obsessed with Nicholas, so I haven't been watching very much to my detriment. So anyways, we're about to break this down with Millennial. I think you guys will enjoy it. I think you guys will enjoy that we're on multiple platforms. So you can be on fucking Twitter. You could be on, and I cursed. And now that we're on YouTube, we're not supposed to curse because it's apparently it's worse than anything. Anyways, hopefully you guys will enjoy that. You can see it on YouTube or whatever. So let's find him and get to it. Or stick around until people can congregate.
It's like...
All right, so I did my little intro. What are we doing now?
This and this here, so you guys can see what we're talking about as we talk. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's get Martini on the line here. Okay, Martini, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do here is break down the good, the bad, and the ugly of the call. I do have an article here from CNN that's going to break down, they did a by the minute kind of thing. So I figure we'll just go through it, talk about the points as they come up, what our thoughts are on it. Now, I know that I'm an Android user. You are an Apple pig. You love the Apple things.
Did you just call me an Apple pig?
Pigs love apples. It's not you specifically. It's just all the people that line up.
Let me just tell you something. You never call a woman a pig, okay? That's all I got to say.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, I'm sorry, and I know I'm not a cuss box. Okay, maybe I am.
Okay,
but I own it.
On that note, we're starting highbrow on this one. So we've got Apple. We've got an Apple user and an Android user. Can you get the link? Yeah. This here, this, and
hey, Tortilla. Hi,
there you go. All right, everybody, let's do this. Okay, so starting off, first thing that they've got here is the Apple Budget Watch is where they want to... Oh, no. They got some other stuff here.
Wait, I'm seeing Spotify calls.
Okay.
Oh, sort by oldest. That's what you want to do, right?
Yeah, I'm down at Tim Cook Kicks Off Event. Ooh. So we had Tim Cook open this up. They had that fun little video tour with the green screen that wasn't a green screen but actually was a green screen, and instead of them just shooting it live, they used Apple Studio. So what did you think about that high quality Hollywood entry?
You know, it kills the authenticity of what tech is for us as people who grew up with it. Like tech was the antithesis of all that big budget marketing stuff. So I'm not looking forward to it, but you know, I'm not very highbrow, so whatever.
I mean, I had the same thing. I was thinking back to Steve Jobs, and like, this guy was never about the demonstration up on the screen behind him was always nicely polished. But as far as like who he was always just that regular guy out on stage with like a sweatshirt and jeans. And I don't know, this one very much felt like it wasn't that, like it was something else going on for sure. Okay, so next they showcased, and this was probably the start of bad. This isn't quite ugly yet, but they opened, and the very first thing that Tim Cook has to tell us is, hey guys, we're here today to talk about the iPad and the Apple Watch. Clearly missing, what was it that Apple users wanted to hear about on this call?
The iPhone. We are programmed for the iPhone.
And it's crazy, right? Like, here's the opportunity. You have the whole world watching. You were watching the number of people, right? That's it, Yuri. It's exactly that. The phone. So how many people were watching? I think it was 1 million at one point, right?
It was 1 million. It was almost 1.5 million. Thank you for that 9-month resub. I appreciate you, Morbidly Obese.
So like 1.5 million people watching. All they want to hear is iPhone. And you say, great news, guys. We're here to talk to you about the watch and the iPad. And everybody went, are you kidding me?
Boy.
Now, that being said, guys, I'm going to say that's bad, but not ugly. So even being an Android user, there were certain things that popped up in this that are worth taking note. As somebody in the bio sector, there were some pretty interesting things that they dropped on this. First one was iPhone or Apple Watch Series 6. Okay. So what were your thoughts on that, Rita? What do you think about the Series 6 watch?
Okay, so you basically saw a lot of people pivot towards health devices. I don't know what the really term for it is, the really good term for it is, but it basically legitimizes the space and that there is money there. The biggest thing you will always see is when a very huge entity like Apple go towards kind of going all in for a certain category, you know that there's money there, right? So I think it's really interesting to see how they're pivoting into it. But what other interesting things were that our chat did not respond to the Apple Watch for like different user scenarios. So I hope we can kind of go deeper into who would use this.
Yeah, I think they definitely came out the gate on the presentation the wrong way. The presentation will be there for you guys to go back and watch. I'll make sure to put a link to it down below in the comments wherever you're watching this. But the reality is, for me, they opened up and they're like, hey, look, we've got different colors of watches. Hey, look, we've got different kinds of straps for these watches. Oh, and by the way, it uses infrared technology to detect your blood oxygen levels. It can be linked with your diabetes. It can be like your insulin injector. It can be all of the things that actually matter. For some reason, they put last instead of first, instead of just having the Kohl's notes on. Oh, and by the way, you can now get it in red, silver, gold, and black. Like, great, there you go. But this is crazy.
But the design. See, this is the point. This is you being an Android user. You don't understand. It has to look good too.
And I'm okay with that, but I wouldn't lead with that. I would lead with, hey, by the way, this thing is a walking doctor's office, so you never need to go to the doctor again and get COVID. Like, it's crazy to me, the amount of stuff that they shoved in here. And this is probably the first good that I saw on this, right? Was they showed us the demo that you can link this to all kinds of different fitness things, all kinds of different workout regimes. I know, Martini, you've been hitting it hard since being post-COVID and back in the States. I'm back at the gym again now that they're open in Canada. A lot of what they were showing me in regards to how you track your fitness and your workouts, it was really appealing. It looked good to me.
Thanks for the 4-month resub, Lonely Cat. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, just look at what chat's saying. I mean, I think you've hitting the nail right on the head. Look, it kind of said he's been using Fitbit for years. He might go over to Apple now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fitbit is declining, and I can see that. They haven't evolved the way that they needed to. And that's unfortunate for them, but this is definitely an opportunity that it looks like Apple and Nike are teaming up to remedy. The other thing to note on this, guys, for those of you that are traders in the market, is there's another company out there that's going to take a serious hit on something like that. And we talked about it briefly during the call, and that's Peloton.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a look real quick. How did they end up? I saw that
closed
huge dip.
Yet.
Let me just show this. What did it do? Let's see. It took quite the dip during the announcement.
Yeah, so here's the announcement, guys, around 2 o'clock, where Peloton's up at 87. And it took a dip all the way down to 83. And it came up a little bit towards the end of the day here, but I mean, if you're Peloton right now and you saw the demonstration that we just saw where they are going to make live classes readily available paired with Nike on top of all of the sensors and stuff being a part of your Apple deal, like, the only cool thing that I did miss during the call, and I'm seeing here in the notes now, is if you buy the red Apple Watch, guys, you're supporting Product Red. So you'll actually be supporting the HIV/AIDS programs in sub-Saharan Africa, which is pretty cool.
That's been there for a while, though. Yeah, I mean, but that's like every year.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing that that's there. Social justice warriors are going to like that. I think that's another good thing. I really just want to highlight the good thing because I know that there's a lot of bad and ugly coming up. So I want to make sure that's there.
Okay, I get you.
I didn't just completely talk crap.
So who uses I thought you were going to go on, but I wanted to touch on who uses blood oxygen. And a lot of the people in the chat when we were watching it in Discord. By the way, if you haven't joined Discord, please join it. There's a ton of us in there. It's a really fun interchange, exchange of information.
Yeah.
What am I saying? It's degenerate.
It's down to earth. It is. It's down to earth. It's regular people doing regular things.
But
I like it.
Do you use blood oxygen when you work out? A lot of the bikers in the chat were talking
cardio.
about that.
I do. Cardio, I do. So on my cardio day, that is something that I would like to be able to track. I haven't used a Fitbit in probably a year and a bit. And it has been one of the things I've been looking to do to monitor what my blood oxygen looks like. So that's definitely something that I am taking a look at.
Well, so I guess they can use it then, but how do you, they were saying something about that they don't like the Apple Watch versus the Garmin because, and I couldn't really get it.
I don't know about the Garmin. I know that switching to infrared is going to be a big thing for them. And the previous Apple Watches are not the same thing that they're talking about here. This is going to be way more accurate than their current offering. And I mean, I've got somebody here in chat saying it would be really cool if they could pair this with actual health professionals as opposed to, just you're doing things with a Nike
guessing
fitness
what it
instructor.
Actually means.
Well, no. They're talking the classes themselves, right? So let's say you had to do physio. Okay. They're saying it would be useful if you could tap into somebody who's your actual physio instructor and use Apple Fitness that way. And I agree, that's a cool feature. It's a great idea. But one of the cool things that they did have with this fitness feature was it will allow you to keep all of your recorded data, so that whether that's blood oxygen, whether that's your insulin levels, whether that's your workouts themselves and how you performed in them, all of that's going to be recorded, and you will have access to that data in your Apple Fitness.
Just resubscribed for 20 months.
I guess it's an app that they have on the platform. I'm not familiar with Apple, but I assume it's an app, which can be useful when you do go to see your physio, your rehab, your doctor. If you can pull out your workout regimen and show them, okay, here's the workouts that I did, here's how I performed on them, that information is going to be useful to them. And I really did like that because the Android version, the Google Health, is really crappy about the quality of reporting that you get out of the Google Fitness. So that was something that looked better to me from a fitness side.
So I don't know about other healthcare providers, but I know that when I go to the Emory system, that you can just literally sync it and send it off to your provider. So it is something that's really easy for at least that hospital system. I don't know about the other ones, to be honest.
Yeah. And I mean, it really was that. There were some things that I think are going to be relevant for a niche, right? It's going to be, I have diabetes and I've got one of those insulin packs that's on my side, and that's a super useful feature for me. But the rest of the world's like, well, I don't have type 1 or type 2 diabetes, and I don't really care what my not working third-party piece of hardware is doing. What got me excited about the tie-in with a third-party piece of hardware is that opens it to integrate with more wearables down the road. It's capable of pairing with insulin injectors. It should also be capable of pairing with something like, let's say, Neuralink, which was kind of cool.
So the one that they actually showed, it was called the Dexcom. So it's an instant read diabetes tool. And so it avoids the whole multiple times a day pricking of the tips of your fingers. And what you don't know is if you have to prick your fingers so many times a day, they become hard at the ends, and it becomes difficult to get blood out of it after a while. So it's something that it's a huge quality of life feature. So I could see this continuing on. By the way, Dexcom is DXCM if you're interested in looking at it.
So that is a publicly traded stock, guys.
What was that?
And I'm going to drop that. Yeah, it's publicly traded. I'm going to drop the disclaimer in here, guys. Everything that Martini and I drop on here is purely opinion. It is not financial advice. Do what you will with it, but this is one of the reasons why we're doing this, is to give you guys our opinion on what you're seeing here and for you guys to make sound and informed decisions on this. So whether you're watching this live with us here, thank you for doing that, or you're watching it afterwards on the recorded versions, wherever you may be watching it. Hopefully you understand that this is an opinion and you should dive deeper if you see something that you liked on this. All right, time for some bad. Apple Watch SE. Apple Watch SE at $279. Anything strike you about that price point, that $279 price point?
Gee. Well, let's have Chad at least guess a little bit, like a 30-second guess.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Come on, guys, just think about it. Why is it $279? I found it hilarious. I do need a disclaimer.
There it is. My chat's got it. Did your chat get it?
Oh, my chat got it. Yes. Yep. Love it. That's
it. So for those of you watching afterwards, the answer is the unemployment check. The unemployment check comes in right around that number. Your benefits are coming in, and you are going to see a whopping $300 check. And that $300 check now goes to either the brand new Apple Watch SE broke-ass cheap version or an Xbox broke-ass cheap version. Both of them are in your price point. Congratulations.
And we point this out only to say that these companies are very much watching the stimulus, and that I don't know if it concerns me, but I found it odd, and it's something that I want to think about.
It does concern me, and it concerns me because for those of you that remember, and I'm going to date myself a little bit here, but Bush, back when Bush was in office, there was a similar stimulus package from the government, not nearly the size that we're seeing with COVID, but there was a Bush stimulus check that went out to people. And the thing is, people spent it on big screen TVs because Costco and Walmart and every other big box store dropped a TV at exactly the price of the check. And a year later, 2 years later, people were really pissed off. They felt like they had been taken advantage of, and people didn't realize that cost was the same. Yuri gets it. Yuri remembers. But like, that's it, guys. I think that a lot of people are unaware that these companies aren't stupid. They are completely aware that you're going to have this money in your pocket. And instead of this going into long-term investments, into savings, paying them debt, paying a mortgage, paying a bill, if they show you this shiny new Apple Watch shitty edition, which is what SE stands for, it's literally going to have your attention. You are going to buy the shitty edition. I don't know that's what actually stands for, but I mean, that's it. It's funny because the Xbox cheap edition is the S, right? Xbox S is the cheap one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also standing for the shit edition. So at least they're being somewhat transparent on this, guys.
Yeah.
They want your stimulus checks. And for me, this isn't ugly. It's transparent enough, and if you do your due diligence and you're not fiscally irresponsible, this is obvious. It's not good either. It's not a good thing, but it's not an ugly thing either. There's still ugly coming, guys.
Come on, it's good for investors. However,
it is.
So you have to understand that our comments are very investor focused. Sucker edition. Nice. What else can we come up with?
I like that. Yeah.
I mean, but I think you get a lot for that value, though. I really do. I know
there was a lot there. There was a lot there. The big difference between the two guys is, and you're seeing this standard. You're going to see this in the console wars. I talked about that a bit this morning. You're going to see this with pretty much every launch headed into Christmas. There's going to be a couple price points. There's going to be stimulus check plus you saved a little bit of money, and you don't collect stimulus check, so you have the money to pay for something else. And those will be the 3 tiers that you pay for, right? So the interesting thing I found and this is good news for those of you that want the Apple Watch, but aren't so hot on the stimulus check, they did mention that there would be a price plan, and this is good for the investment side of Apple. I think. What was the price? I can't remember exactly.
I remember
what
you
it was.
Screaming. It's less than the cost of Netflix.
Right. Okay. I can't remember exactly what it is.
I don't see, it's not saying the pricing plan. Does anyone remember the pricing plan for the SE watch? Is that what we're still talking about?
Yeah, the SE had a pricing plan on the watch. I can't remember what it
Hold on,
was. It was less than $15 a month.
Oh, this is the bundle. What's the financing? I think it was 12. I mean,
it was less than 15. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I thought it was 12. Guys, we're looking for the financing price of the iPhone SE. Financing price. By the way, all of you who are mentioning why did Apple dump today, and I think it's just my typical explanation, which is you buy the rumor and you sell the news. Almost every announcement I've ever seen in tech is always disappointing. Tech to me is like an overhyped industry versus something like the medical field that is more about the science. So to me, that's just what usually happens.
Apple did finish green on the day. So for those that are saying, oh no, it dumped. Okay, but it still finished green on the day. And that's better than a lot of stuff out there in the market. So yeah, I mean, just be aware of what's going on. It's a drawback from the hype heading into the event. We expected a fall almost immediately when they opened with. We're not talking about the iPhone today. That was to be expected. But guys, it is good news that you can get this brand new Apple Watch for less than your YouTube subscription or your Netflix subscription or your Disney Plus subscription or your booze for the month, whatever it may be.
Wait. Can we pause that you tripped up with how many subscriptions? Can we at least have a moment at some point in this to talk about all these subscriptions that everyone has now?
Yeah, it was intentional, but it was exactly that Apple is getting to that point where they recognize the value of ongoing payments through financing and subscription. And that's important because there are other companies out there, guys, if you are investors, that you may want to consider heading into the holiday season, like, what's an online payment resource that's allowing 6 months financing? Oh, PayPal, right. So there are lots of options of financing going into the Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Boxing Day, Christmas season that are providing financing options, low-cost options, and this pairs quite well with Apple now, where they're saying you don't need a third party to finance. You can just finance directly through us for less than the cost of Netflix. All right, Yuri, we'll catch you tomorrow, man. Take it easy. All right, so price. Thoughts on price. Good, bad, or ugly? What do you think?
Okay, so they linked to me one that has the most of the pricing altogether. So the pricing of, have we gotten to the bundle yet? Because that's...
No, that's later.
Okay, well, later. I've come up with, I think, something really, really very interesting about it. I think the pricing falls in line, except for... have we gotten to the iPad yet? I think the iPad is the most essential.
Okay, so stick to the watch with me for 2 seconds then. Whether it's the Series 6 at $399 or the Apple Watch at $279 or financed out for less than the cost of Netflix, what do you think? Pricing, good, bad, or ugly?
I think it's good, but I think essentially the Apple Watch is kind of irrelevant because you just didn't see a lot of people buying the Apple Watch. Maybe they will now because it allows outdoor functionality of someone like a cyclist, somebody who's like, the always on altimeter for somebody who's hiking or for somebody going up steps. But, it just, as of the last earnings and with what's going on in COVID, people aren't buying the Apple Watch. So I'm not really sure that it's that relevant.
Yeah, I would say just the watch itself, guys, I'm going to give a bad on. Because I did not see enough, unless I was a person with diabetes who's looking to run in the Olympics, I didn't see enough to get me to buy this. As an Android user, there's not enough here with just the watch, just the hardware and the features. I know they showed cool new faces with Mickey Mouse and whatever. That didn't sell.
Oh my God.
I would not buy an Apple Watch based off the pricing and what I saw as far as functionality on just this watch. There are lots of other alternatives out there, and this did not sell me. So I'm going to go with bad on the Apple Watch price. But remember, there is a caveat. We are going to get to it. And it is this big bundle that they built together. And that's definitely something of more interest. So more bad news with the Apple Watch, guys. It's not going to come with a USB power adapter anymore. Apparently, they're doing this for green reasons. This sounds like just another monumental pain in the ass.
I just want to do like a little video on how many plugs I have for technically
Apple
one
device?
ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah. The Apple propriety over hardware gets to be a bit of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. I will absolutely concede that point. Did anyone see, did they release the pricing, what it is when you actually add the, I know the Series 6 is $399, but is that the standard version or the one with its own internet connection or its own LTE?
I think the LTE comes with the Series 6.
Because usually it's like debundled. There's like one that's LTE version and then one that's a basic version. And so if your watch is $500, that's an iPhone SE, guys. Like, yeah,
it doesn't look to me like they are separating the LTE out anymore. It looks like if you want the affordable version, it's the SE. And then the LTE is going to be included in the Series 6.
That's painful. Does no one else feel the pain in that price? I feel the pain in that price. Someone mugs you and they have $2,000. I mean, literally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit rough. Okay, Fitness Plus with Apple Watch is the next thing that CNN has listed here. We talked about that a little bit earlier. This starts to get into the fitness package. If you're somebody that was interested in these fitness classes, you don't own a Peloton, you don't have a YouTube channel on your phone. I'm pretty sure everybody does. But for some reason you don't have those things, or you want your stats live listed on your workout as you're working out, and there are some people that want that. They're listing Fitness Plus will be available for $9.99 a month or $80 for a full year. Martini, I know you like to jog, you like to run. I'm back at the gym. Your thoughts on Apple Fitness Plus?
Well, I think the pricing is pretty normal. What I don't understand is maybe how they can integrate with other devices, because these are for people who don't have larger devices like treadmills, bikes. Maybe they have some weights at home, and I think it'll be a really good use at home option. But the first thing that I notice is that they really assume that you have all the space to do these classes at home. So I think that'll be interesting to see if people actually pick it up. But I don't think it really matters, because when we get to bundling, I'll try to explain why I don't think that it matters, that it is this expensive.
Yeah. For me, again, guys, this is almost a moot point, where it's when you buy your new watch, however you buy it, you get 3 months of the service for free. I think people will give it a try, and if it's for them, great, they'll use this. If it's not for them, then they may just opt out, or they may go the third route, which is the bundle that we're going to get to. I don't think this is necessarily good. It's definitely not ugly, but I'm going to go with bad again, because as an Android user, I don't see anything here other than the live display of what your beats per minute is, your active calorie count. But for me, that's not enough to drop $400 or $230 on a watch that I don't otherwise need. So I'm going to go with bad again on the Fitness Plus. But again, hold your breath, as we are getting to something that is quite interesting. Now, they still don't want to go to the package yet. That was one of the surprises they left at the end. But this is something that I would rank as good from the call, and that was the 8th generation iPad. You were pretty excited about this, weren't you?
I really see with Apple making their own silicon, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with iPad. And what you need to realize is that the iPad last quarter was selling like hotcakes. I mean, 30% more revenue out of the iPad division from last quarter is insane. That's like having Christmas in July.
No.
So God knows what's going to happen when Christmas comes, as long as, shit doesn't get wild.
And there's stimulus money for people to buy it with. Yeah.
Exactly. As long as the stimulus keeps coming, I think you can kind of expect these things to continue at their pace.
I'm a big fan when these companies are transparent and they recognize that they have competitors in the industry. Okay. So NVIDIA was really good about it on their demo call that we watched, where they threw shade at pretty much everybody that's making these chips and graphic cards, saying, yeah, we do 10 times what they do. We do double what's currently on the market. We do 10 times what they do that's on the market. And Apple's no exception here. They actually threw shade at Google, saying that it's 6 times faster than the top selling Chromebook. They didn't compare to their past generation iPad. They compared to the competitor, which I think is very important to note. I haven't heard a lot out of Google in regards to hardware updates heading into this season. Stadia was a bit of a flop for them. I haven't heard anything in regards to Google Glass. The Google Watch has been all but nothing. So for them to throw shade like this at Chromebook, I think is very relevant, where they've recognized that the tablet, the iPod or the iPad versus the Chromebook, that is a thing that exists, and there's opportunity. iPod, yeah, that's how old I am. But what interests me with this is we had a lot of people that were in the Discord chat saying, well, do people actually use their tablets? Like, yeah, we've all got them. Does anybody use them? I know for myself, as a homeschooling family, we use our tablets frequently and consistently. They are regularly being used by our kids because we don't have enough desktop computers for everybody to be on a desktop computer all the time. So the tablets allows the younger kids to do their school.
Yeah, but you have 8 kids. Come on.
Sure, but what you have to take into account is there's a lot more parents that are homeschooling this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if mom or dad has to stay at home and they're using the home computer, right? They're using the desktop. What is little Jimmy or Jane going to use? Well, this tablet is no slouch. It does a great job, and it comes with possibly my favorite thing from this entire event, which was the Apple Pen.
Oh my God. I could barely hear the announcement because he kept screaming about the pen.
They gave an entire slide presentation on the Apple Pen and that it tilts, and I was tilted. All right. So price point on it is $329. So cheaper than the Apple Watch.
And very close to the stimulus check.
Yeah,
so I found
$20
that
over.
price.
Not a huge deal.
Yeah, well, 29. Not 20, it's 30 over. You got to remember, when you have that 9, it says a lot about pricing theory.
Yeah, but I'm the marketing guy. I let them play their psychological game.
Oh my God.
But again, guys, even if it doesn't have the payment option on this, PayPal's got it covered, right?
Yep.
6 months. Divide that up by 6. That's quite reasonable. It's less than a carton of cigarettes. It's less than a 40 of booze. Pretty nice little iPad kicking around there. If you know that stimulus check is coming, that's there. All right, good, bad, or ugly. What do you think? iPad, Generation 8.
I just lost my spot. I think that the new iPad is really significant because, like it or not, there are more people in your family that need to have something to use, and the iPad fills that spot. And Apple is going really after the educational market. And so I think, and they're allowing very good pricing for schools. They're allowing a trade-in program for schools. So I think really you need to look at the educational aspect for this. Even though I've talked to a lot of teachers who find digital learning less than effective, I would say. But I think this is one of the good parts.
I agree. For me, this was a good, guys. Even though I am not necessarily an Apple fan, this tablet is noteworthy. I will say at the very least. I don't know necessarily that I will pick one up, but it is noteworthy. I will give it that good. They immediately followed this with a redesign on the iPad Air. This feels to me like a lost product. That this was once upon a time a thing of necessity when you had really heavy duty laptops, really heavy duty tablets. Things felt heavy and bulky, and the iPad Air was an essential. Now looking at this, it's like, well, phones do what this does, and tablets are just not that heavy as they used to be. Even laptops aren't that bad anymore. This feels to me like it's lost. Like this is a product they need to phase out and not so much dive deeper into. But what are your thoughts on it as an Apple user?
I agree, and I'm also finding this trend as well, and realizing that they all have Touch ID instead of updating with the Face ID. It is kind of it's kind of feeling like there's, I don't know, there's incongruity across the product lines, and they're kind of going back to that pre-jobs status where they kind of didn't focus. Remember when they had all those products before Steve Jobs just threw it out and was like, why are we dealing with a router? Why are we doing all these things?
I love you and missed you.
Yeah, and that's really what this feels like to me.
Resub. I appreciate you.
Like when all that you've got is like, well, we've got a new chip that's in here, which is our chip. Okay, that's cool, but you've got that in everything else too. So I'm not really sold on that. It's got a 10-inch screen. Well, I prefer the tablet actually. Okay, well, it comes in 5 colors. Again, with the colors, I hear from the Apple users the color is really important.
It is important. People like to, oh please, you're a marketing guy. People like to express themselves through the things that they own. You know this.
As a marketing guy, I do know this. As a consumer, I could care less what it looks like, as long as it works. Android user. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Android users, we like to pay for things that work. Go figure.
I love you guys, but my ear is killing me. Like, by the way, I have an ear infection, and like, just talking and my booming voice like is total pain. So I'm sorry that I've been absent, but I can't. Oh my gosh, it's really tough. So I appreciate you guys showing up. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Go ahead, Molly.
I dragged her out. She didn't have a choice. I needed to make content on this. I needed an Apple user. She had to do it. What is interesting with this is, guess what the iPad Air is going to come with that nothing else is going to come with? That's right.
The pencil.
A USB port. No, it's a USB port.
No way. I did not see that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's going to come with a USB-C port. So it's going to use USB-C instead of the Apple Lightning connector. So you'll be able to charge it with the same thing that you would charge a Google phone or a MacBook Air with. Which all of a sudden makes this a little bit more appealing to somebody who's, say, an Android user that's looking at maybe not the tablet because it's not USB functional, but something like this that is a little bit of Apple with a little bit of Android. I love how they just snuck that in there at the end. By the way, this is like Android charging compatible. Still doesn't make a good my book. I'm still going to give the iPad Air an ugly. Actually, I'm going to give it worse than a bad. It's an ugly. I think this product needs to be phased out. I think, okay. It needs to be phased out. It needs to not exist. And this was just a distraction. It didn't belong. Had this not been in the call, nobody would have missed it. This thing doesn't need to be here. When your biggest highlight is we've got 5 different colors, you need to do something else.
Wow, he's doing an ugly. As soon as they came with multiple colors, the device line innovation is done. Interesting observation. I would have to agree with that. That's kind of weird. Follows that pattern.
So what do you think? Good, bad, ugly? iPad Air.
I mean, it's okay. I don't think it's a good.
She's not willing to say bad.
Whatever. It's a whatever. Yeah. But I'll if I have to pick, I'll cut bad. The person that the iPad Air is made for is somebody who's trying to do something that needs a little bit more power on an iPad. But the thing is, that's what's really cool about Apple devices, is because they are so simple. You're not really doing a whole lot on there. But like something like editing or some of the more expensive programs, you need an iPad Air. So I guess I get it.
I agree. Apple is simple. Princess Chrismar, yeah, it is me. It's good to see you too. Glad to have you hanging out with us as we rip apart Apple here. Yeah, I did fire shots, guys. For those of you just joining the program or catching this afterwards, I am an Android user. We are doing the official commercial. I am Android and Martini is an Apple, and that's why we're looking at this subjectively. So you don't just get me dumping all over Apple. You get an actual Apple user giving you some insight on this as well. We're
You have
finally
to look at
there.
the Air as the light version of the Pro? I guess so, but I just get the Pro. I mean, what is the Pro pricing? I think I calculated that the lowest version is only $200 difference. If you're going to pay that much, you might as well just get the Pro.
Or just get like a PC that will do the job better. It won't come in 5 colors though. So,
no,
I mean, you really got to decide.
And they're sexy colors, mind you.
Yep.
Okay?
That's true.
Back
you will
that
not get
color
your
up.
PC in periwinkle. If you want a periwinkle tablet that works half as well, iPad Air is there for you.
I know I want
Okay.
the rose gold. Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
Is this torture? Is this torture for you? Because I could lean into it.
It's difficult. As a consumer,
I could lean into it.
As a consumer, it is irritating because yeah. It's more like a quarter, somebody in chat says. It's more like a quarter as efficient as a desktop. As a marketer, I love it because it does show that things like that, small little nuances like that are effective, which is why we are mentioning, guys, things like this has a USB port. This doesn't have a USB port. For most people, they're like, oh, that doesn't a big deal. Bullshit. Most people buying tech, that makes a huge difference.
The rose gold boosts performance by 50%.
Just the color makes you that much more effective at work. I'll give you that. All right, we are at the most beautiful part of this entire presentation, in my opinion, and that is Apple One.
Okay, let me get down to it. I think mine is like out of order for some reason. I'm going. Yeah, this is weird. Hold on. Okay. Sold by oldest. So finally, I will be in the right place, probably.
I am right there with you, Chainmail. Dongles are most definitely deterrents for Android users. We hate peripherals.
I am 2000% agreeing with Millennial. Apple One is the most important thing if you were an investor.
As an investor, you must realize that this completely changes the game for Apple and takes them to where they honestly needed to go. Even this, as an Android user, has me interested. This Apple One package has me interested enough to possibly buy one of the Apple Watches. This alone.
Which one? Which one?
The Apple One. This package, this Premier package.
The Premier one? You would get the Premier one? Really?
Oh, yeah. So, because the Premier one's the only one that comes with the fitness as well, right?
Oh, see? Okay, that brings me to my point, but go ahead.
Full circle on this, guys. So we told you it was important to remember with the watch, while I thought that was bad, with the Apple Fitness, I thought that was bad. It's not just about one piece of the puzzle on this, and that's why this call was so effective. This Apple One merges it all together really nicely. So would I buy the Apple Watch as just the Apple Watch? No, I could care less. Would I buy the Apple Watch with fitness? No, I wouldn't. I could care less. Would I buy Apple One with the watch that gives me Apple Music, Apple TV, Apple Games, 2 terabytes of storage data across all Apple devices, Apple News, and Apple Fitness? Yes, I would do that. I'd pay my less than Netflix a month, whether it's, I think we said it was about $12. $12 plus $29.95 a month. I will pay Apple $35 a month to have access to all of those devices, updated fitness, and a brand new Apple Watch. I would pay that.
Okay, so which ones were the ones that you said yes to, and which ones were the ones that you said no to? Because I want to.
I have not said yes to anything yet.
But
Apple
you would buy
did
the
not
bundle?
sell me. I would buy the watch with the Premier bundle.
But no, I'm talking about the individual services.
Oh, the data and the fitness.
Okay, so cloud. Okay, So you would buy Cloud, okay?
Cloud and fitness. I already have an Apple, like I've got an iTunes account from years ago. It's in there. Rene Ramirez says just buy Google One and YouTube Premium. I have those. I don't find that there is a device with Google, with Android for fitness that does a good job. I haven't found one.
What would you not buy?
I wouldn't buy the Apple Games. I could care less about that. Apple TV. I could care less about that. Dropbox is definitely going to take a hit. You better believe it. Apple News actually is I can't lie. Apple News is actually a little bit of interest to me. I would like to have that feature. I think it's not that I would necessarily pay for it, but if it comes with a bundle, I think I would take a look at it.
But you wouldn't buy it individually, would you?
No, not individually, but because it comes with the Premier package, that's enough to push me up to the Premier.
Exactly. Okay, so
fitness plus news. If it was just news that I got, that wouldn't be enough. But fitness and news, yeah, I'll pay the extra $10 a month for that.
I'm sorry, a combination of internet and my ear, just to explain to everybody, I have an ear infection that when I talk, the vibrations really are super painful, but we wanted to break this down for you because I think it's a huge game changer. So let me explain to you about bundle price economics if you're done, Millennial.
Yeah, I'm done. Go for it.
Okay, so subscriptions are really healthy for companies, right? In general. And we can go into the pricing of that. But basically because I know not one of you cancels shit that you don't use. It's like the gym theory, okay? You forget it exists and then you pay them on the reg every month, okay? But that's a different thing. The only reason for a company to bundle a subscription goes into price economics, okay? What that means is there's actually bundle price theory, surprisingly, okay? And the only reason to bundle something is if your customer base is negatively correlated choices in between the individual services. So what I found really funny was that Millennial, who is an anti-Apple user, is negatively correlated within his bundles that he would choose. Notice he would buy Cloud, iTunes, and fitness, but he would not buy games, TV, and news. And so to maximize the amount of money out of Millennial, you do bundles. He may only buy one of these or two of these, but in this scenario, you almost double the amount of money that you get out of this man.
Yeah. Yep.
So back 4 years ago, Apple made a decision to turn into a services company. They realized the iPhone wasn't going to be the iPhone every year, right? And what is Tim Cook if nothing but a great operator? He might not be the best innovator, but he is a great operator. And this is absolute fucking genius, right? So Apple has created what basically is a Fortune 100 company in its services, okay? And we know that services are traditionally very high margin, right? They're scalable, they high margin. They might as well be the crack of the business world. And then bundling it together is like somebody threw, I don't know, fire on top of it. I mean, it is really significant. So I'm really excited to see what the earnings will be after this when people can actually buy these things.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of opportunity on this one. I do. This is good. If I could give it a ranking better than good, I would. This is the first thing I've seen from Tim Cook's Apple that has me actually impressed with what he's doing. This is a recognition of where the market is headed. This helps him to build some hype around things that have kind of died down, which is Apple Games and Apple TV. I know when we talked about those a year ago, everybody was really hot to trot about them, but now nobody's really talking about this crap. Nobody cares. But these bundles expose people to this stuff, and sometimes when you expose yourself, good things happen.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see the earnings. I can't wait to see the next earnings. Last earnings was like a gift. It was like manna from the gods. And then this earnings, I can't even imagine. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do.
Now it's time for some ugly. I'm assuming that we both agree that one is good plus. Like it's good beyond good.
Oh, look, Ikano would get it. Gamer didn't even know that it existed. Nice seeing you again, by the way.
So, Martina and I are both in agreement. Apple One, good. They did a great job with that packaging and how they presented that. That was amazing. Where they placed that in the event, as far as a marketing perspective goes, it was really, really good. Yes, there will be a Millennial After Dark listing from now on. When we see things like this, guys, Martini and I have wanted to be able to hop on and break it down for you guys. And more as we head into Christmas, there's going to be more of these businesses coming out and saying, hey, look what we can do. And sometimes we want to help you call BS on it, like with Nicola. And sometimes we want to actually break down what's going on with something like this with Apple. So let's keep that in mind. We will always be fair, but if it's dog shit, we will call it dog shit. Bad news, though, and I am so happy to share this with all of you Apple users. Guess what? It's update season! Yay!
What's the bad news about update season? What are you talking about?
iOS 14 comes to brick your iPhone tomorrow.
Oh,
hooray!
You mean end of life? They're end of lifing the SE?
New features coming to the iOS 14 include ways to better brick your phone. Brick your phone with upgrades and new group chats, and also brick your phone. If there's one thing I have learned from any Apple users out there is when an Apple update comes, make sure that you don't have auto update on. Make sure you wait for that first patch on the update. Otherwise, you are going to regret life. For the next couple
I'd
weeks.
have to agree. I'd have to really agree.
So I like that they tucked this in here after Apple One of like, look, we did something phenomenal. And now we're going to cut you. We're going to cut you so deep, you wish you'd never been cut. And we're going to make it sound like it's a good thing. And here we go. Here's your update. iOS 14. Also, for those of you that already have a watch,
get fucked.
OS 7. Yeah, OS 7 is also coming. And they're going to watch you sleep is the new update. Sorry. This was also another one of the ugly features that they added. It now comes with automatic hand washing detection. So as you wash your hands,
oh my god, I was like, how useful is that? What is that? I don't even get it.
It will automatically alert you to how long you have been washing your hands and let you know that you are a degenerate sleazeball for not washing your hands long enough. Congratulations, Apple users. Apple is making you feel scummy right before Christmas. I hope that makes everybody feel good.
But you know what? It's good for the current health crisis. Get over yourself. I have to go pee, though. I will be right back.
Okay. Now.
Hey, what's long, green, and smells like pork?
I don't know.
Kermit's finger.
You gross. Get away from me.
69
Get away
me.
from me.
77 me.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's so weird.
The thing we do know is that we'll be here doing our job and supporting the flow of credit.
So it won't open till 9:30
And there
a.m.
to do what we can when the recovery comes to make it as vigorous as possible.
Okay, now we'll go to Bloomberg News.
Hi, Chair Powell. Craig Torres at Bloomberg News. You say the path of the economy more or less depends on the path of the virus.
This is the one. Watch this one, and so I started playing McCree. I think I'm gold. DP.
Get it. That's what I was drinking. I just got like 2 things.
I hope the camera picked that up. I really do. Why is it in the floor?
Know what the fuck is going on? That means that they make more money.
People aren't super excited.
What did I miss? Sorry, I just had a.
They miss your. They're missing your in real life walks. Unfazed in my chat says he thinks that this update is absolutely useless, and I would agree. What I suggested was whenever the GPS notices that you've walked into a location, it should update you with a ping saying, "Put on your mask. Did you sanitize?" That would be more useful to me than wash your hands for 30 seconds. As far as other useful detection things. I said if you had your kids who had an Apple Watch and they start to brush their teeth, that would be a more useful feature for me of like, hey kiddo, you didn't brush your teeth for the full happy birthday song. So let me play that song from your watch right now as you brush your teeth.
That would be really cool. But I think Apple leaves that kind of stuff to apps. But I guess you're right. The hand washing thing is part of it.
Yep. So for me, this isn't ugly. For you, you're saying it's kind of a what?
I think it's I don't know. I come back to me on that. I don't know.
All right. We have an undecided on that one.
Yeah, because the thing is the Apple one was so good and this is just so deflating. Yep. So I'll say bad, whatever.
Now we come to the single ugliest thing I have ever seen a brand do to itself. And I just cannot grasp why you would end an event on this trailer, okay? They literally played a trailer that said time flies at the end of this. And it showed people using their devices and saying, I tell you, there will be a day in the future when my watch does this and my tablet does this and my computer does this. And every time the narrator would go, I wish it did this. And somebody would go, my watch already does that. And literally for me, this entire trailer embodies everything I've had wrong with Apple for the last 3 or 4 years is I don't see the level of innovation that it had under Steve Jobs. Where, oh, I wish my watch did this. We already do that. Yeah, no duh. Yeah, we know that. We get that. Everything that you can do, you're already doing. I want an Apple implantable microchip that's called Neuralink. It will be on the iStore eventually. But this ad, this time flies ad that Apple did, I get what they were trying to do with it. I get that it was supposed to be this edgy, like, oh, look, we're so forward thinking. We're ahead of everybody already. The future is now. But to me, it didn't play like the future is now. To me, it played like we lack total innovation and everything that should be coming down the pipeline is already here. So we don't really have anything for you heading forward. Congratulations.
Awkward. I do. It was awkward. But I think you as an Android user misunderstand what Apple's innovation is. Apple's innovation is innovation through simplicity. It's not about, look, a piece of technology is almost fucking useless if it doesn't work and you can't use it and you don't know what to use it with. I mean, if you think about the original iPhone, the innovation was that all the interface elements were right in your face and you didn't need to know the 3 button clicks to get there, or that you swipe from the right or you swipe from the left. But I do agree that now that Steve Jobs is gone, they're kind of going back into their old ways and it's disappointing. And it really just shows in that end credit of just like, nobody likes to get told, I told you so. And I felt like that whole piece, now that I'm remembering, just really tilted me off the planet.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it would be like Trevor Milton coming out with a video of him riding in a Nikola truck that's rolling down a hill. It would just be irritating for me. Where, yeah, I see you. You're in motion. Good job, buddy. Like, that's what that trailer at the end felt like to me of you jumping on a jet ski. Exactly. Does it have a boomer iPhone, iPad like the Jitterbug? No, the new BlackBerry phone will be coming out sometime Q4. So that will be where the boomers head. But for me, the trailer from Apple did show things that actually work. That's fair. Now, you'll note that Trevor did say it was in motion. And I think that we could push him down the hill in one of his trucks and he would be in motion. I would just hope that there would be a lake or something at the bottom. I could watch him swim in motion. No, yeah. So back to Apple and not Nikola, because we've already teared that apart. The highlight on this was, wow, that was the quickest announcement ever from Apple. Not really overall as a message from the entire event. I give the event a bad. Not an ugly, but bad. The Apple one was sexy. I loved it. I really did. It gave me a reason to actually watch the entire thing. I have to seriously consider whether it's enough value for me to buy an Apple Watch, but at least it has me considering that as an Android user. So that was good. The rest of the presentation for me was a bad meme. The trailer was bad. The iPad Air was bad. The tablet was okay, but I wouldn't replace it with my Samsung tablets, my Galaxy tablets. So for me, overall, this event was bad in my books. I didn't see anything else. And immediately following the Apple event, Spotify criticizes Apple's digital subscription offer as anti-competitive. So we're already in it. Everybody's already going, that beautiful package that you guys all loved, everybody else in the world hates it and is decrying it as anti-competitive. So the only thing I liked, it looks like the rest of the world is going to ruin, unfortunately. What are your thoughts? Overall, the event, are you walking away prouder than ever to be an Apple fan or what?
Well, I think there's a difference between me and an Apple fan and an Apple investor. I think this was a good squared event. Okay. I think it was amazing as an Apple investor. That package, I may call it right now. That is going to be so much money for them. I mean, because when you bundle something, you take somebody who wouldn't have originally paid for that much money and you almost double or triple the revenue that you can get out of somebody. And yes, you're going to lose some sales along people who don't want to buy into that whole system, but it looks like you can buy them individually too. So that pricing theory goes out the window. I think it's really bad that the iPhone 12 is delayed. I don't know the last time that they've delayed an iPhone. So that was really concerning, but it is COVID. Everyone's delaying a lot of things. I don't know. I would like to know why. I think somebody said 5G, but I'm not really sure. I think the doubling down.
Part of it is.
Is it?
Part of it is 5G. Part of it is that they transitioned to their own chips, and they don't currently have enough of the chips to make it happen. So they shot themselves a little bit in the foot, but I think that's why they're not discussing it, so that they don't have to take the heat on it.
Yeah, I think it was a good move to their own silicon, and not because of power or whatever. Nobody gives a shit about that for an iPhone or an Apple device. The real savings there is the vertical integration and the power consumption. For me, Apple devices are legendary in their use of power. It's really great all the time compared to other devices. And I think that this was a great event. It has some bad parts, but as an investor, I think it's really great. I think as a consumer, you're kind of just like, who cares? So I think you really have to see it from two views.
As an investor, I would agree. I think that people will buy this. They will line up and buy whatever Apple throws at them. So I think that's going to be a thing. Their numbers are going to be down a little bit on not having the phone, but I think that tablet is going to do well. The package is going to do well. I think you're going to see people buying that watch, given the financing that's on it. I think I think there's money to be made on this, especially with Apple being where it's at. I think it's around $100 right now. So for me, as an investor, I like Apple on this. As a consumer, I'm not sold on it. I think it was a bad to ugly. As far as integration, people are asking now about like Apple CarPlay. How many vehicles support Apple CarPlay? Couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. But if I was going to play smart cars, I'm not playing it on Apple. I'm playing it on BlackBerry personally. In regards to Spotify coming out on this, I think they have a legitimate claim that this is anti-competition, that this is a serious issue, because you're buying into this package and immediately you're signed up for iTunes. Well, Spotify's entire fiscal policy is use Spotify instead of iTunes because you buy all your music on us and use us instead. And well, they're on the Apple market, right? They're on the iTunes market, or they're on the whatever iStore. They're on the iStore. You can get Spotify. That Apple is putting its music label ahead of everybody else's in that package, that is anti-competitive by nature. So
yeah, but have you seen
I mean,
Apple? They're anti-competitive with everything. It's the big droid in
Yeah.
the sky.
right. So add on the lawsuits, right? Like let's keep them coming. Europe's already after you. You've got the FTC doing an investigation. You've got China pissed off at you now. Sure, let's add Spotify to the pile. That'll go well. Just piss off everybody, Apple. That'll go well. I think that this may be a unfortunate thing where we see an alteration to what's offered in Apple One. Unfortunately, as soon as you get somebody like this complaining, I think this is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, but I do like their rebuttal to Epic Games. You know, Epic was like, well, we're complaining about you being anti-competitive. And they're like, how can we be anti-competitive? You're literally the largest app store on the planet. Oh, and by the way, you do the same stuff to us. Congratulations. So technically, you make more money off of it. So, by the way, Epic Games is owned by Tencent. Tencent is the biggest gaming company in the world, and it does have the biggest app store in the world, not Apple, even though Apple is considered more valuable.
Yeah. My thing with that is in a court of law, what they are going to consider isn't the headline rebuttal, which is really good, and I agree for the headlines and for the popular vote. That's a great rebuttal. But in court, the court is going to look at is there validity to the claim that Apple is anti-competitive in its practices? And I think that there will be a ruling against them at some point in the U.S. Europe's already there. Europe's already on that boat. I think the U.S., we will see that coming down the road, which makes me a little more hesitant with Apple. I think we are going to see antitrust, anti-competition legislation coming against them. That will also level the playing field with things like Tencent, where it's like, well, you're a Chinese company, you want to operate in the U.S., you have to operate under anti-competitive, which means you have to open your market to all of these US apps if you want to continue working here. So I think it's going to bite Tencent in the butt. But as far as Apple and anti-competitive, Spotify's right. This is another move that is just pushing the envelope a little bit further and a little bit further. And I think at some point there is going to be a breaking point where the FTC has to say you cannot monopolize this market.
Thank you for the raid where rebels are. I appreciate you. Welcome to the stream. We are talking about the Apple announcement. Sorry to interrupt you, Millennial. We're breaking it down from an investor and a consumer point of view. Millennial, you can see his name. I think it would be right here since I have it backwards. You can see his name right there if you want to follow him. He is a former marketing director, so he has a lot of good insight, and I just invest for a living. So welcome to the stream. I hope you guys enjoy your time here. Thank you, Where Rebels Are. Appreciate you.
Trying to remember how to spell my own name.
Do you have so many spellings? That's why we put it up. So we were talking about the anti-competitiveness of I don't know, Apple right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the last news that they have on this call is that what we're looking at is possible anti-competitive coming out on this. I personally think that will be many, many ways out. How many monitors do I have? Technically 5. 3 full-size monitors, my phone, and a tablet.
More monitors means more money, not... Why do you have 5?
Well, so the way that it works, guys, and it makes it seem a lot more practical, right? So on one, I've got my OBS. So like this is where my stream life is happening. And then I've got one that I've got my portfolio up on. So that's the trading life. And then I've got one where I'm watching Martini's chat. And then my phone's for my wife to contact me and let me know that I'm running late into dinner. And then my tablet is there in case I need anything else as far as like, oh yeah, I need a browser to actually look at something while my other screens are busy.
Oh my God. Apparently I'm the only one who has 2 or 1. I travel with 1. So I actually live in Airbnbs, guys. So I have to travel with very little. And it looks like Where Rebels Are has 7 and Stoby has 8. What the hell?
See, I'm not living the lavish life by any stretch of the imagination here.
6? You have 6? What am I, just like poverty monitors? Jesus Christ. Okay, whatever. Forget that. I'm not paying another $100 to put it in a Pelican case in an airplane. I can't. No, can't do it. I could literally buy another monitor everywhere I go, and it would be cheaper.
Not one of those devices is an Apple. Not
Yeah,
one.
because I can't run shit on an Apple device, okay? It's for simplicity.
There it
Oh,
is,
my
ladies and gentlemen. You heard it from the Apple fan.
God. Oh, my God.
I think that is an excellent note to end on, guys. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys watching my stream. I do have to get out of here. My wonderful family's waiting. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If you guys know of events that are coming up that you want us to hop on and break down, please drop them in the comments down below. If you're not doing the subscribe, like, all that nonsense, do that. Same for all you guys that are listening to me ramble over in Martini's chat. Follow her, subscribe. Hopefully this was helpful. You understand what's going on with Apple at the very least. We can do this again in the future, I'm sure, as long as Martini fixes her ear and gets at least 2 more monitors. So we'll do that then. Take it easy. We'll catch you later.
Bye, Millennial. Guys, I'm going to have to hop off too because like my ear talking like this loud is too much for me. But, and thank you for the raid. I really appreciate you. I have an ear infection and it's killing me. So at least with Discord, I can hop off and stop talking so much. So I hope you guys, this will be archived on YouTube. So you can just go ahead there and watch it, or on Twitch. I didn't run any music, so you should be able to
Jeff
hear
Bezos
everything.
Gifted Stobby a subscription.
Oh, thank you for the 3-month resub. Oh, it was a gift. It was a gift. Let me see.
Call them fun coupons. Yeah? A fun coupon.
I'm struggling on this other
Hope
monitor.
you
That's
feel
weird.
better. Tell Jay I love him.
I will tell AJ that you love him. He already hit me with a Nerf gun for some reason. Get more monitors. Well, that's the thing. It was struggling on the other monitors, so that's weird. I guess it can't handle 2. I guess when we all get the new NVIDIA cards, is anyone excited for those? Then hopefully it can handle it more. If it can... I don't know that it can fit in my case that I travel with, to be honest. That's like a big boy. But if anyone could get a hold of one, tell me and I will buy one too. Oh God, Snowy. Buy an NVIDIA card, buy more NVIDIA stock. Ooh, tough choice. Tough choice, Snow. Tough. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. I have pasted in the socials. I'm more in Discord because I can handle that because my ear. I will get started with my schedule up again since the internet isn't that bad anymore. And until I get over this fucking ear thing. All right, guys, join the Discord. Thank you for those who joined from other places. She should. Thanks, Ikano. I'll see you guys. Peace out. Thanks, gamer. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best.